Hey guys, welcome back to RPO Restorations. If you've thought about maybe it's time to put a ceramic coating on your collector car or truck, or maybe even your daily driver vehicle, then make sure you stay tuned and check this video out, because today I'm going to be applying this brand new Reflex Pro 2 enamel coat from Ammo NYC, and I'll include a link to the product in the description section. I'm going to give you a step-by-step of how to apply it to your car or truck. And then at the end, we're going to do a little before and after, and I will give you a quick review. So stay tuned. We're going to get started and jump right in. All right, so the first step in this process is just to clean the paint that we're going to be working on. It's a little too sunny out right now. I'm hoping it gets a little more overcast because you want it to be nice and cool and have the car in the shade. So we'll see how that goes. But when you're cleaning the paint, you're just going to do a regular thorough wash, but just make sure that you get all the dirt off, and you want to use a car wash soap that doesn't have any additional wax in it, no wash and wax products. You just want a straight soap, and I like to give it a couple of squirts of just regular dish detergent. This will get any wax or any other products you have over the paint off the car. You want to be working with just nice, clean, bare paint so that this coating sticks a lot better when we finally do apply it. They do make specialized wash products for this. I've never used one, and I've had great results with just this soap. So I'm going to go ahead and do that first. All right, now that we've given the car a good thorough wash with our half dish soap, half car soap mixture, we're gonna go ahead and dry the paint. This is the only time I'll ever do this, but do not use any type of drying aid, spray wax, quick detailer, whatever you normally use to lubricate your towel when you dry your paint, because we don't want any type of coating or anything on top of our vehicle's paint when we apply the ceramic coat. I've got my paint nice and dry. I'm actually going to skip the next step, because the next step is to clay the paint to remove any contaminants that have bonded to the surface. However, this car has been waxed and re-waxed and stored indoors its entire life, so I don't really need to do that because there are no bonded contaminants. But I'm going to show you a real quick way to check, see if you do need to clay your paint. This way it's a time saver. You're not wasting your time if you don't. Just simply take a piece of plastic, like a plastic bag, something like that. Get your hand inside and wet it a little bit, and then run it along your paint. If you feel bumps and things like that underneath your fingertips, you know you need to clay. If the paint feels very smooth, you don't. So save yourself the time, save yourself the clay. Just go ahead and skip that step. Hey, now before I keep going, being that I've skipped the clay, I just like to make sure, double check that I've gotten everything off the surface of this paint. So I'm going to give it a spritz of this 80% isopropyl alcohol, 20% water mix. Let it dwell on the surface for a couple seconds and then wipe it off. This way it'll break up any waxes or oils that are left over. You'll see a lot of guys just spray and immediately wipe. My advice is don't do that, because you're not giving the alcohol time to work and dissolve the wax. So spray, let it sit for a few seconds, and then wipe off. All right, so now we're back inside. Now that we have nothing on top of the paint, this is the step 2, where you're going to do any kind of paint correction you may need. Now remember, however your paint looks when you put the ceramic coating on, that's what's going to get sealed inside. So you want to have the best, smoothest surface you possibly can. This paint's in really great shape. There's just a little bit of fine scratching in a few places. So we're just going to give it a quick hit with the Meguiar's Ultimate Polish. Nothing fancy. Just keep it quick and keep it fast. However, if you do need to compound, do any kind of paint correction, get out heavy scratching, touch anything up, now will be the time to do that. So let's go ahead and knock this out, and then we'll move on to step 3. All right, and we're back 2 days later. Polishing took a little longer than I anticipated, so that just goes to show, even if you're doing a quick light polish on your car, it's going to take a lot longer than you think if you want to get the job done thoroughly and correctly. But now we're back for day 2. We're going to actually apply the ceramic coating. So keep in mind, and the reason that this polish took so long was 75 to 80% of these coating applications is in the prep work, just like a paint job. So you really have to get the paint as clean as you want it, as smooth as you want it, and as residue free and coating free as you need it, because otherwise the ceramic coating just isn't going to adhere to the car, or you're going to coat over imperfections in your paint. So when you budget time for this job, just keep in mind 80 to 90% of your time is going to be the preparation, and 10 to 20% is going to be the actual application of the product. All right, so I'm going to back this thing in the garage. Starting to get a little sunny out, and we'll get to work on putting this coating on and finishing this job. All right, we're back in the garage. Now what's left to do is remove the tape. I'm going to give paint another spray with alcohol to remove any of that polishing residue, and then we'll get started with applying our coating. This is how you know the paint's ready. That squeak means there's nothing on it at all. All right, so let's get this coating on. Shake it up. It says to work in 2x2 sections with the supplied microfiber sponge. Overlapping motions up and down, left and right. No need to buff it in or out. Let it haze over. It says depending on the weather and humidity, that could take anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 to 3 minutes till we get a nice rainbow sheen. Then just wipe it off with a microfiber towel. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. Okay. Work it in overlapping sections. Now we'll just wait until we get a nice haze and then buff it off. I don't know if you can really see in this camera view or lighting, but definitely starting to haze over. Starting to see a slight rainbow, especially on the right hand side. So we'll give it a little more time, and then we'll go ahead and take it off. All right, it's been about 2 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead, just buff the excess off, and we'll move on to the next part. So I got 2 coats of this Reflex Pro 2 on the car from Ammo NYC. Apparently they recommend doing 2 coats with a half-hour drying time in between so the product can cure a little bit. That was no problem. I started at one end, worked my way down, then waited a little bit, repeated. So all that went well. Product was very easy to put on. Just wipe it on, let it sit and cure, flash over, and then when you start to see a rainbow haze, you wipe off. One bottle did do the entire car. I was a little worried about that, but I actually have a fair amount left over so I can touch it up tomorrow. They recommend you keep any and all water away from the car for at least 6 hours. Store the car inside the night after you apply it, and no washing for at least 1 week. So that's what we're going to do. So tomorrow in the daylight, pull it outside and see what we did. So hang on. So it's been about 8 hours since I put the coating on, and I'll give you a couple of quick before pictures. Now keep in mind, I had 2 coats of Meguiar's Ultimate wax, which is actually a sealant on there, and the car is kept inside, so it wasn't very dirty at all, so there's really not going to be a very dramatic before and after. But keeping that in mind, I kind of did this more for the slickness and the durability as well. So here are the after shots. One thing I noticed right away with this product is the slickness on the paint. Some of the previous coatings I've used in the past, you didn't really get that like just waxed slickness, and coming from somebody that's always used waxes or sealants or things like that, it kind of threw me off, and I just, in my head, I knew it was good, but I didn't really think that it was as good as it was, because the paint just didn't feel slippery and smooth like when you just wax it. But this product, I mean, you can feel it. I can't even put anything on the hood without it sliding right off. It definitely gave a great shine, no different than any wax or sealant product I've used in the past, and it was probably just as easy to apply if you put in all that prep work, you know, which I know a lot of people normally do at the beginning of the season anyway. So I'm gonna give this a thumbs up, call it a win. It's supposed to last 1 to 2 years, given that this car is kept inside most of the time and not driven very often. I think I'm definitely gonna get 2 years out of it. So we'll see how it goes over time, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna call this a win. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to my little application review of the new Reflex Pro 2 from Ammo NYC. I'll include a link to the product in the description if you're interested. Look for a future upcoming video where we give it a water test, and there's a few more of their products that I want to try out on the Cutlass. So hopefully you can hit that subscribe button so you don't miss those. I'll see you in the next one.